Mike, I have two ideas of what we might talk about tonight.
Ooh.
The first one is that since it is May the 4th and it's Star Wars Day, we'll talk about how Disney did their level best to ruin like one of the most successful franchises of all time. And I think we'll talk about that because that hasn't been done enough on YouTube. There's not enough of that content. But then I think it's also possible that we'll discuss the goodness and generosity and nicety of people that does still exist. Tot in the chat just a couple of moments ago. I've been waiting all day for this.
Aw.
Very
That's
nice.
very nice.
Thank you, Tot. What do you
That's
think,
really
Michael?
awesome. I'm going to guess that we will talk about the importance of bike lanes and yes, and maintaining proper safety while riding, and wearing pants and not shorts when you ride your bike. That's really important, and a lesson that we should all learn.
Those are all good lessons. Well, we're going to find out in a minute. He's Mike, I'm Dan, and as you know, we are in the blind. And now's the time when in the blind when we dance. Yay, there you go. All right, enough of that. All right. So this is In the Blind with Mike and Dan. If you are new, this is how this goes. We have no idea what we're going to talk about. That's up to Beth, who's sitting across from me with a devious look on her face. And she told me she was doing something different tonight, and I have no idea what that means. So be afraid, Michael. Be very afraid.
I'm always afraid. I'm scared.
You should be. So we get 20 minutes per topic. We get 2 of those. And then after that, we do our true false round, which is all sorts of fun. And you get to play along at home on that one. Not that you can't play along with the other questions as well, but the true false round is the most fun.
In the Blind definitely needs a home game.
Well, we might get there, actually. But one thing you can do to help us out right now, if you have not already, please obliterate the like button. Every single channel on YouTube is struggling to be found and to be heard right now, and that's the bestest thing you can do for us. So do that, please, and thank you. And go knock on your neighbor's door and tell them to tune in as well. That would also help.
Yeah.
All right, shall we?
Sure.
All right.
I should probably get closer to my mic. Then.
Yeah, we need to be able to hear you.
Yeah, audio helps. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody ready?
Let's do it.
Or no, but yes.
No.
So there's a line that most people have heard at some point, and it's literally right behind Dan. Do or do not. There is no try.
See, I told you we'd talk about Star Wars.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right.
It was, I couldn't pass it up. Sorry. And it sounds powerful. It sounds decisive. It sounds like the kind of mindset that leads to success. But when you actually try to apply it in real life, it gets a little messy because most of what we do is actually trying, learning something new, changing habits, working towards something uncertain. None of that is clean or immediate. So it raises a bigger question. Is absolute commitment actually the key to getting results? Or is trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again the only way that people ever improve? And if that's true, is the idea that there is no try actually helpful, or does it create unrealistic expectations about how progress really works?
I like this topic.
Yeah.
You?
I do. There's a lot. There's a lot of ways you can go with that.
So I had mentioned this morning on the live show, I called out one guy who was in front of the judge, like, well, I tried to do this and I tried to do that. And I pointed to the sign behind me, which you can't see because we're cropped. But I have a sign that says do or do not, there's no try. And it fit because it's Star Wars Day. But I think part of the problem with that saying, or with the word try rather, is that it's become an excuse in so many ways. I think that's the bigger issue, is that, well, I tried to do this and I tried to do that, but did you really try? Really, really honestly, did you try? For a lot of people, no, it's not. And I've also argued that I've learned more from my failures than my successes. So I've learned more from when I've tried. Honestly, I think that's one of the reasons that TCF grew so fast, is I took a lot of the lessons that I learned from other failures trying to do things on YouTube and applied those lessons into that channel, and it took off, and that's what we're trying to do here. So, you know, I think the problem is more how people deal with the word try these days. It's become more of an excuse than what it really means. You know, I think a total commitment to results, as you put it, comes from constantly trying new things, from constantly trying to improve yourself through working through things, but then learning from your failures. So if you try something and it does not work, rather than just going, I give up, it didn't work, you know, analyze why. Why didn't it work? What went wrong? What can I do differently next time? And I think that's where a lot of people fail. I don't know. Those are my initial thoughts. You, Michael?
So just before we started the show, I was talking about my dad, and he was kind of he always had good pearls of wisdom. And one thing he would always tell me was, I don't care what kind of grades you get in school, so long as you did your best, so long as you tried your best. If you applied yourself and you still fail, there's no shame in that. But if you just sort of half-ass it, then that's a problem. You should always try your best. You're not always going to succeed. It's okay. When we watch Court over on the other channel, for example, we hear a lot of people say, oh, I tried to do this. I was in the process of doing that. And oftentimes these are just empty words. They're either not telling the truth, or or it's one of those things where, yeah, I went to one class, but I didn't do any of the work. I didn't, actually put the effort into self-improvement, whatever the case. And so I didn't get any results, or I tried something once and I didn't get results, so I gave up. That's not really trying. That's almost like, that's just lying to yourself, really, or that's trying to fool yourself, or maybe that's something where you just say to yourself, hey, I made an effort, guys. But that's not really trying. And it's one of those words that has become overused. But when you really try, when you really make an effort, there's no shame in the results. Sure, everybody would like to be a success on everything that they do, but that's just not realistic. We were also talking about, I have an e-bike, I ride around. And you know what, man? I've had a mishap or two, but does that mean I stop riding? No, it doesn't. It just means, yes, I should probably wear pants when I'm on my bike as opposed to shorts, because, if you fall, less chance you're going to get all scraped up and cut up. So there's that. But, again, it's one of those things. I don't think there's any shame, and I think it's one of those things we should encourage people to try new things and make a concerted effort. And that's fine, and failure is fine. So, Dan, you're very right. I mean, you oftentimes learn more from successes than failures, or failures than successes. You learn how to succeed from failure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, failure is definitely the most educational. But you said something, and I wrote down what you said. You said people used to say, or your father used to say, yeah, just try your best. That's what you said. Excuse me. I fumbled that. But the two words that I wrote down were my best. When is the last time you heard somebody say, I tried my best? I can't think of the last time.
It's a huge difference between when we were growing up and the culture today, because I think when we were growing up, everybody understood that the idea of trying was actually a sliding scale. It's not saying that you're trying doesn't really imply that you're trying to your full potential, but that's kind of gotten scraped out over the years, and now it's just a catch-all.
Yeah,
Right.
no, it's true.
And that was the thing too, and I will say this, look, I think this expectation that if you try, you're going to succeed, or this idea that, you know, anything you put your mind to, you can do it. Look, that's a great sentiment, but I think it's not always, setting expectations too high is also dangerous, right? Look, I could try to be an airline pilot. It ain't going to happen, right? Because my eyesight is just not going to allow it. Okay, I can try and be in the NBA. It ain't going to happen. A, because I'm in my 40s. B, because I'm blind. C, because I'm ridiculously fat. Those are just 3 reasons of the probably 60 I could list off as to why it's not going to happen. There are some things you have to set goals. They should be at least marginally realistic. But within that doesn't mean that you just give up, but you have to. That's the other part of this too, is sometimes people set these unrealistic goals. They try for it and they don't get it. And they go, well, I tried to make $1 billion last week and I didn't do it. So I'm not going to try to do anything. I'm not going to go out and get a job. I tried to get a job that paid $87 an hour and I couldn't do it, so I'm not trying at all. That's like this justification that people will use too, is, hey, I went out and I applied for, 700 jobs and none of them would pay me anything more than $35 an hour, so therefore I gave up. Like, come on, man. You have to set some realistic expectations.
Well, I think you have to set realistic and spelled out expectations and goals. But once that happens, I think it's essential that you then set your goals high.
Sure.
So what I mean by that is be specific about what it is you want to do. We see it all the time over in the courtrooms where people will say, the judge will ask, well, what's your plan? Well, I want to make $100,000 next year. Okay. That's a lofty goal and it's an attainable goal. But what are you going to do to get there? And then that's where it falls apart.
Right. And
that's where the word try will come in. Well, I'm going to try to go to school. I'm going to try to get this job with this guy that I know who does this thing. Well, what's that guy that what's that thing he does? Lawn care. Oh, okay. That's going to get you that $100,000. So, there's a lack of seriousness, I suppose, and it shows with words like try. I think that people just expect, and part of it honestly might be the culture that you and I live in, Michael, with this online business where you're an influencer and there's all this great earning potential, and people they see it and they go, oh my gosh, I can do it too, and I don't have to put in any effort. I just need to try. And then they get slapped in the face the first time they post something, and that's the end of that.
Right.
Because there's no like just how much effort has to go into this or anything. How much work you have to put in with very little to no return before something actually clicks in anything that you do. And people just don't get that anymore. And I'm not 100% certain how we got there, but we're there.
Yeah.
And the way society is constructed probably doesn't help, because you have the people who make it, and often there's luck involved along with hard work and planning. There's also a luck factor. And a lot of people, I think, also don't accept that luck might not come and you might fail. But then you learn where things didn't work, and you go try again. That's another piece of the try puzzle that's missing, is the word again.
Right. And And again, you're not always going to win just because you put maximum effort in. Or you might have some success, but it may not be to the level that you were hoping. Listen, man, I put in a lot of work every day, okay, on my weather videos. And, you know, I there's a lot I do, starting at 4:00 in the morning, sometimes earlier. And, you know, I'm there all morning working, occasionally distracted by TCF. Absolutely. But I mean, I'm still putting in a lot of work. I mean, I'm at several hours of work for these videos that I do every day. You know, do I get 1 million views? No, I don't. But, you know, I have seen a growth. There has been certainly a growth over there. You know, Dan works countless hours on just that, on his channel, on TCF, you know, and then we have this show, which admittedly we don't have to work as many hours, but there is, despite the fact that we kind of goof around and say, you know, we just sit down and talk, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. You know, Dan works on, you know, presentation and audio stuff, and I'm working on the audio on my end, and then Beth has her research, and, you know, there's a lot of stuff there, and putting together the servers and the website and all that stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on just for this show, you know, and a lot of labor, a lot of hours go into that. Are we sitting here on 5 million subs? No. But I mean, we just started, but I mean, at the same time, you know, it's not always proportional to the effort that you put in, but usually people that work hard will usually at least see something out of it. And oftentimes people that are successful are also hardworking. Now, look, there are people that are just lucky. Mm-hmm. You know, there are videos on YouTube of like an orange rolling down a hill that gets 6 million views. I mean, look, it happens. And I think that goes to what you were saying, Dan, about some of the, you know, the instant gratification kind of stuff that we have in our society now, where people see that and they go, I could do that. I'm better than an orange rolling down a hill. But that's, you know, lightning in a bottle is one thing, man, but you have to have, generally speaking, you need to have some kind of a concept or some kind of an idea, you know, to get somewhere.
Yeah, no, but also people lack originality. They lack the ability to try new things. So, or their idea of trying new things is, instead of rolling the orange down the hill, they'll roll a pomegranate.
Yes.
But the pomegranate only gets 120 views.
Right.
So they're like, well, what's the problem there? Well, you know what? Did you do your research? Was it the orange that got people's attention, or was it the color? You know, do people do videos featuring orange just do better? I mean, you know, it's silly, but you get my point. There's more to it. To anything. We're sitting here talking about YouTube videos, but that's just to anything. You've got to you have to not only try, you have to try something that has not been tried before, and that's
hard to do.
That's the key. Oh, it is hard.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Being bold is not for the faint of heart.
No,
you know, because you're putting yourself out there. You're trying something that has, and there's a very good chance that the first time you try something that hasn't been done before, it's going to just totally fall flat. Mm-hmm. And you're going to feel defeated. I mean, I don't know. We just turned in the blind into like some sort of Tony Robbins, sort of some kind of motivational episode. But I think society right now needs some of that. I think there's this idea that all I have to do is put in a modicum of effort and I'll be a success. And that's not how it works. Or I'll just do what another guy is doing, but green, or you know what I mean? Like, and that's just, there's a lot of that too. There's so many. I'll give you an example. Have you ever, one day, I swear to God, I'm going to make this video where I just scroll through. It's just me watching various, you know, like when you're going to YouTube shorts and then like live YouTube comes up. Mm-hmm. And if you ever want to see just the wild west of the internet, just go through live YouTube short stuff. Like, so there are channels where someone is just writing names in calligraphy, and they just write people's names and then just like next subscriber, and they'll write, and there's, I'm not joking, dozens of those channels. One of those, and then I look at the subscriber count. There was one of them that has almost 500,000 subscribers, and it is just some girl in like Bahrain or someplace just writing people's names and half singing their names, and then and then going to the next name, and just for hours they do this. But then I saw other channels with people doing the same thing. And they have, 10,000 or 40,000 subscribers. And I'm sitting here going, I have 6,400 subscribers, and I spend like 6 hours researching, doing, But it is amazing. There is so much imitation. My point is, there's so much imitation that's out there. And it is wild. It is, I'm telling you, man. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I guess it's just, if you're going to do something, put your best foot forward, try, and I mean legit try your best. Do everything you can. And then if it doesn't work, don't necessarily get discouraged. Try something else. Now, eventually, maybe you'll just discover, hey, that wasn't the right path for me. Maybe I have to do something else. But the old saying, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I don't know.
For me, the do in the do or do not, there is no try, is committing and trying over and over and over until you've refined to the point where you get success. And then that's when the do happens, but
yeah.
But there's effort, and there's time, and there's everything else, and there's inventing something new, like writing names in calligraphy. Michael, have you considered doing weather with hieroglyphics or something?
I thought maybe I'll just sit here and draw a map. We'll just clear the board behind me. We'll just draw a map, and I'll just be like, all right, and that's what we'll do. It'll be
Weather
kind of a
Channel
take
meets Pictionary.
Dude, yeah. Do it, but you have to do it in a John Madden voice. So you're like, all right, there's a storm up here, and then there's a front down here. What's going to happen if the storm over, and boom.
And the storm, and you'll see this storm up here in the Pacific Northwest, and boom, right into Idaho.
Yeah. See? This is what you do. You think things out, and then you try
just have different, just have Tom Brenneman do it for a while, and then, and he'll get canceled because he uses a slur. And we'll do that. We'll just do various all that stuff. Yeah, that'll be fun. I tell you, I don't know, Dan. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just confused by the world, I think.
Well, isn't that kind of the theme of this show? Like the sub theme is that we're confused by the world.
I think it's the theme of all of our shows and my weather and everything. There's just a lot of going on out there.
That's true. That is so true. So real quick to finish up, Grandma TCF, Michael, draw a map that shows rain at our house, please. So
okay, so lie to you is what you want me to do.
She wants you to try to lie to her. Yes.
Okay.
Just right. Try.
Just
try your best.
All right. Try my best to lie. All right. I will do my best for deception in the future.
All right. That's true. We didn't say what to try your best at.
Yes.
So deception is technically on the table.
I mean, it is.
You ended that sentence with at. Just pointing that out.
I did?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Oh. Ending with prepositions and
you said we didn't say what how did you phrase it? What you're going to try at.
Oh, that's not like me.
I know. That's why I pointed it out.
Huh.
Well, It's not a full moon either. It's a waning gibbous moon. So I don't know. I don't know, Dan.
I suppose I'll have to be
Try
punished later.
harder.
Okay. Try harder at that. That sounds like an ad. That's another Star Wars reference.
Yes.
All right. Next one.
Yeah.
Ready, Mikey?
Oh, of course.
All right, let's do this. That was fun. Let's do it again.
Okay. So there's another idea that's been around for a very long time. Fear is the path to the dark side. And that sounds dramatic, but also it's kind of accurate because fear doesn't just make people react, it shapes how they think. It changes what they pay attention to, what they avoid, what they believe is an actual threat. And in a lot of cases, those reactions happen quickly before people have really had a chance to think about them or had time to think through them. So it raises a bigger question. How much of what we do individually and collectively is actually driven by fear? Are we making decisions based on what we truly believe or based on what we're trying to avoid? And if fear plays that big of a role, how much control do we have over the choices that we make? We've hit on the how much control do we have on the choices that we make part before, but I think with the context of fear wrapped up in this question, it changes things a little bit.
Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to the dark side.
Yes.
I don't do voices as good as you, Michael.
I used a Star Wars themed show today.
Well, she said she was doing something different. She did not lie. She had no fear when she was putting together this show. How much of what we do is driven by fear? These days, a lot. Probably too much because this sounds odd to say, but tell me I'm wrong. People fear fear.
Yeah.
You know, they do. If you think about it. They don't want to put any step into anything that might be scary or difficult. So
risk averse.
Yeah, risk averse. So I mean, yeah, so much is driven by fear. Or conversely, people are not afraid of things that they should be. There's people like that too. But it seems like so many things in society, it feels like we're going to the extremes. You have the people who are just like, F it, I'm going to just do whatever I want, no fear, and we see those people in court. Or you have the people who are like, I'm not going to do anything, I'm not going to try anything because I'm scared by 57 different things that might happen. But there's not like a healthy middle as much anymore, or am I wrong? Doesn't feel like there is.
I would say you're right. And I would say this too. I don't think fear by itself is necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes it can be a motivator for you to look, you know, if I don't go and get some work done, if I don't work, I'll lose my home. I won't be able to pay for my car. I won't be, it's a rational, maybe that's not fear per se as just much as consequences. All right. But those are things to worry about. Now, sometimes people get so terrified that they can't do anything. They have, fear leads to just a brain paralysis and they're just unable to do anything because they're frozen with fear. But fear isn't always a bad thing, especially if there are things that you are afraid of and you're able to take on those fears, you're able to confront them, or you're able to channel that energy that you have from fear and turn it into something that becomes productive. I think any of those things can be good, can be motivational, can help. That's all you have to do. Now, of course, me just sitting here saying that, wow, you make it sound so easy. But I mean, yeah, and look, it's not that easy. Obviously, it's not that easy. But yeah, you're right, Dan. I mean, some people are afraid of fear. They're afraid for whatever reason. Maybe they've made mistakes before and they're afraid to make a mistake again. So they don't do anything or they just stay on this one little narrow path and that's it. And they're never going to go off that path because I don't want to fail or I don't want to do this, right? It's like people that, they'll get into a relationship or whatever and it doesn't work out. And they'll be, I'll never be with anybody again, or I'll never do this again, or you know what I mean? I think you can't let that control you like that. Having a healthy respect for something or a healthy fear of something is one thing, but just being like, I won't do anything because I'm just scared of any consequence or anything bad happening to me. Well, that's not a way to live your life, I don't think. Sounds kind of boring to me, but now like me, okay. I don't like heights. Okay, I'm afraid of heights. And I don't mean like when I'm on an airplane or whatever. I'm cool with that. I can be on an airplane. I don't have a real problem with that. It's like if I'm way up on a bridge someplace and it's 100 feet down and I look over, I'm like, ugh, I get a little queasy. It's one of the few things I have like a legit, almost a terror, like a frozen with fear kind of thing is that. Maybe it's my eyesight. Maybe it's just, I don't know. It's ever since I fell and broke my arm when I was in second grade, I've always had that kind of creep in, that fear. It doesn't make a lot of sense maybe, but that's just something. Yeah. I don't like great big snakes. There's certain things I'm a little bit like, but I don't have like, I'm not completely terrified by them. That's one thing I have a real problem with. I don't know. And maybe that's silly, but that's my fear, I guess.
I don't know if it's silly or if it's just life I'm at a different place in my life now, I suppose. There's not much I can point to and say I fear that or I'm scared of that, up to and including death. It does not scare me. And I don't know how I arrived there, but I'm there now. But to go back to the root Yodaism, fear is a path to the dark side. If you fear things too much, then I think that statement becomes true because it does allow a path for bad influences or bad actors or anything else to kind of take things over for you without you even realizing it. If you are, for example, if you are afraid to, in your workplace, speak up for yourself and demand what you are worth and whatnot, then people will just trample all over you. That's an example. And, that's a dark thing that happens there because it's costing you money.
Great example.
Harassment too.
Yeah, harassment, same thing.
Again, taking it like TCF, but if you're talking about things like domestic violence and whatnot, how many times we know for a fact does the exact same thing repeat itself because somebody doesn't want to upset the apple cart and say something. I mean, I know that's dark, but we're talking about fear and darkness. So
no, at some point you have to slay the dragon, and there's just not a willingness to even try that. But if you have those victories, if you slay your own personal dragon, not to be all Jordan Peterson here, but it's true. I mean, if you conquer your fears, it is so rewarding. And it makes you less fearful the next time around and less likely to be hampered by dark things, by bad influences. because you've proven that you're above it, that you're better than it, that you will conquer.
Sure.
You know, so you do yourself a disservice if you don't, I think, just face your fears and deal with them.
It makes a lot of sense.
No, it does. I wish more people would get it. And I'm not trying to sit here like all high and mighty or anything. It makes me sad when we see so many people who live in fear, and that fear conquers them. And that's probably, again, we reference the court stuff so much, but you know, we see so much life over there. And I'm honest, I'm sitting here wondering how many of these people that we see in court are there because of the fact that they were too afraid to make the right choice or stand up to somebody or whatever the case may be, and then that led them down a path that put them in front of a judge because they're going along because they're just too afraid, or they're afraid to do the hard thing of putting yourself out there and finding a way to get a job, so they go and they steal instead because for whatever reason they see less fear in that. I don't know, just thinking out loud. But
I think another thing too, when you're talking about fear, is that it can very quickly become a doom spiral in your head, and then it completely overtakes everything. So you don't even have a chance to try other things or to be creative or to make the right move, so to speak. And that can happen with everyone, I believe, and, you know, everything. But if you're constantly in that loop in your brain, then there's no room for anything else.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's very strange. Yeah. That's a great point. It is, fear is a weird, it's a very strange emotion. It's a very strange constraint that we have, right? I mean, but again, a healthy fear or a healthy respect, however you want to look at it, for certain things, for consequences or whatever. I mean, I think it's fundamental, in a sense, sort of to govern how we live and exist as a society. You know, I mean, I think, and I don't know if fear is the right word again for that, but I think that's how I look at it. You know, there's things I wouldn't do because I wouldn't want to get in trouble with the law necessarily, you know, but, you know, maybe that's
the repercussions.
Right. I would be afraid of the repercussions. And then other things I just don't do because to me, it's just it's immoral to do. It's not even a fear. It's a morality issue. And then there's just some things I don't do because there's a fear, but I also I know like my limitations, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's a fascinating topic. It really is. Does it drive us? Yeah. Again, it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I think there's a lot of things that it does to limit some people and unfortunately limit some of their successes.
No, it certainly does. So, you know, there's the phrase "scared to death," right?
Yeah.
And some people, I think, take that too literally. Do you remember, Michael, the quirky little movie in the mid-'80s, Remo Williams, Fred Ward, Joel Grey? Do you remember that movie at all?
It sounds familiar.
They were actually going to make like 3 of them, but the first one didn't do all that great in the box office. But Joel Grey played this sage teacher guy who was teaching the Fred Ward character to be like an assassin. And I remember there was a speech he gave because the Fred Ward character, Remo, was scared to go do this training because he might like fall, because it was like he had to like hop up different heights and whatnot. But the Joel Grey character said, Fear is just a feeling. You can feel hot, cold, you can feel hungry, you can feel afraid, but fear will never kill you. But I think a lot of people approach fear from that standpoint. Like it's like if they face something that is scary, they're going to immediately have a heart attack and die or something. Um, but
Well, for some animals, that actually is true. But
yeah,
that's
but
obviously not what you mean.
not for humans, though. I mean, generally speaking, unless you have a weak heart, in which case you have other problems you have to deal with.
Yeah.
But the of all of the emotions that you can have, conquering fear is probably one of the most productive and the most powerful ones, one of the most powerful things you can do,
Well, it
because there's
feels
so
great.
much reward behind it. It's freeing.
Yeah. Very liberating.
But
And then
I wonder
it's one of
why
those,
we have that lesson anymore.
yeah, it's one of those things that when you do it too, it kind of makes it becomes almost self-perpetuating, because you're like, well, if I can conquer that fear, maybe I can tackle another one. It almost becomes one of those things where it's perpetuating. You now realize that there's this power, that within you to sort of, I don't know, tackle whatever else is going on. So yeah, but we don't do that a lot, and I don't know if it's a generational thing. I don't know what it is exactly. I think some people get set in their ways. Maybe as you get older, some people are more afraid of dying, or more afraid of getting seriously hurt, or more afraid of whatever, and so they don't do stuff. Some people just get very set in their ways. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. There's a big difference too between fear and then just, I don't like something. Like, I don't like roller coasters. I'm not really afraid of them. I don't like them.
Well, that's different from fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would get on one and not crap your pants, I'm assuming. You just choose not to because you don't enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy getting sick. I don't, I don't like boats. Now, I've almost drowned. I've been out on the water before, and the water skiing thing, and getting whatever, and I almost drowned. And it's not so much a fear thing, because I've been out on boats that, in fact, my dad, we put his ashes in the lake, at his request. That's what he wanted. And I don't like going on boats, but I did for that. Of course I did. But I don't want to be on a cruise ship. But again, it's not out of fear. It's I don't like it.
Yeah. It's different.
I can come up with many reasons I don't like it, and it sounds like fear. It's, oh, you're afraid of. It's like, no, I'm not really afraid of everybody getting sick or whatever, or or I'm not afraid of, we run into a storm and the whole ship is going like this just constantly, and that's not so much a fear as much as it is just I know that's my luck and that would happen sort of thing. It's like, that's, so some things may sound like a fear, or may sound like an anxiety. But yeah.
Yeah. It's just personal choice.
Right. And I don't like big crowds. Like, okay, so there's another thing. I don't really like big crowds. I get anxiety in great big crowds. And I think there's a little bit of a difference between like a fear and a general anxiety of eyesight and, just big crowds. And I feel like, kind of crunched in, and, it's just one of those, I feel like it's uncomfortable.
Well, and that makes sense. And I do think that's different from a fear. Again, I think that falls more into a preference line, at least for me. But,
Yeah.
But as far as fears go, I mean, genuine fears, if you can conquer them, I had said earlier that it's like liberating, but it's such growth. and it proves to you that you'll be okay. I was
Yes.
just sitting here thinking, for example, you know, in my 50 some years now, I've been through so many different phases of life, so many different seasons. Um, I've been in good relationships and bad ones. I have had a metric ton of money and I've been broke. And I've done those things multiple times over in some cases. I mean, I've been well employed, I've been unemployed, I've been self-employed, I've worked for the man. I've like so many different things, and all of those things come with different fears and different issues, but I've survived it all and I've overcome the worst case scenario in my mind for all of that stuff. And it's probably why I'm just thinking about why I am how I am now. And it's probably that is I've faced so many of these things and realized I've survived it, that there's very little, if anything, that truly scares me anymore. Because honestly, what's the worst that could happen to me? Something that's already happened for the most part, you know?
Yeah.
And I've proven that I can live through it. So I think you need to face the fears and live through them and overcome them to have those life lessons to know that you'll be all right.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, but again, it's easier said than done for some people.
It is, which, you know, we can debate why that is. For lack of a better way to go, I'll just default back to we're not raising good children to be good adults, so they don't get those skills early on. I think there's a lot of skills that just aren't implanted early enough. And facing fear is probably one of them, because we shelter our children now. We can't even let them play outside without getting arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
So-
that's definitely a thing.
So I know we just had our bell, but I'm going to go over just a little bit on purpose because I'm curious.
Okay.
We've talked about this question more from a personal standpoint, and the whole idea of fear is the path to the dark side, I believe, could also be easily interpreted as there are bad players out there that will use that or wield that against you. And I'm not talking about even specifically in Star Wars, and I'm not talking about it even from a religion standpoint. But I think there's plenty of things that we see in society all the time, and there's people who are narcissistic or sociopathic or just generally a not good person. But I think that a lot of times they exploit fear in other people, and that in and of itself is dragging the other person into the dark side.
Yeah. If you have fear of things and it's obvious,
You can be manipulated.
they can be manipulated by that fear. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well,
Hell, our
someone
own
can
government
exploit
will
that.
do that to us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole other topic, but you know it's true.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, half of what goes on is manipulation
Sure.
of us by fear.
Yep.
If we don't go to war with X, Y will happen. If we don't pass this bill, this will happen. I mean, it's all fear.
Right. Yeah. They exploit people's fears. And that's how politicians work. That's how most campaigns work. They say, hey, if you don't vote for me, you know, the other side's going to win, and then they're going to raise your taxes, and then they're going to come around and kill your puppies, and you know, and they're just they're godless, and we'll all just become a bunch of heathens, and we'll burn in hell. And yeah, so you know,
well, not telling you that they worship Moloch and they will kill your cats, not your dogs.
right?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing too, is, you know, there's always it's like anybody that would do that and exploit your fears like that, you always have to wonder, well, maybe the person I should really be afraid of is the person like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true. Satisfied?
Yeah.
All right. True false round?
Yeah.
All right, my friends, this is the best part of the show. So Beth is going to give us 5 true or false questions. We have 3 minutes for her to present the question, for us to talk them out and decide whether she's truthful or a lying sack of something.
Something
Dark
dark
side.
side.
something complete.
All righty, shall we?
Yeah.
Question 1, go.
Humans can detect fear in others through scent, even if they aren't consciously aware of it.
Well, I suppose if you pee your pants, you could smell somebody who just pissed themselves. I mean, that's...
I've smelled the fear on customers back when I would be closing them on a sale. I swear to God, you could sense it. But that's when you knew that you had them.
See, you're exploiting their fear.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, when you're in the sales business, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Or else the fear of being homeless is going to come in very quickly.
Right? Yeah, sales is just a battle of fears.
I mean, I would say this is true. It sounds pretty obvious. I mean, again, yeah, I don't see how it can't be.
Well, other animals sense fear.
Yeah.
I don't know why we would not. It would make sense to me that it would present itself as a smell. I'm sure we release various chemicals and whatnot that are present in our perspiration. I would say true, which means we're wrong, but true.
Yeah, sure.
All right, we're locked in.
Okay. It is true.
Okay, cool.
And kind of unsettling if you think about it. But when people are afraid, their body chemistry changes. That includes subtle changes in sweat. And studies have shown that other people can actually pick up on those signals, not in a hyper-conscious way. You're not walking around like, yes, fear, notes of panic. Anyway, but your brain does process it, and it can influence how you feel and how you react. So yeah, humans can smell fear. We just pretend that we don't.
Terrified by Tom Ford.
Exactly.
I can smell your fear.
I'm sure there's an audience for that, actually.
Probably.
Probably sell out.
Available at Sephora.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's the scent of fear. Now just $139.95 at Sephora.
You know what? That would probably sell because there is at the very least there is a fetish community for that.
It's got a skull and crossbones on the bottle.
Uh-huh.
The Grim Reaper on the other side.
Well, and all the TikTokers would have to buy it because they want to be like the first one to.
What's going on, guys? I'm over here at Sephora. Just bought the smell of fear. Oh my God, I am scared. Guys, you got to get this at Sephora. $139.95. And no, they are not paying me. This is brought to you by the smell of fear at Sephora. If I didn't say that, they would say, "Hey guys, what's going on? It's Corey."
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
All right.
That deteriorated quickly. I like it.
That's what we do.
That's why this show exists.
I know.
If it didn't,
we were way too on task with the first.
I know we had to be so motivational, so now this is our time to goof off. Is this part of the show? Yeah.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
All right, number 2, go.
When you speak, your brain partially suppresses the sound of your own voice in real time.
That feels false to me. Maybe because I've got these damn monitors in my ear like 29 hours a day now for all the content that I do. But all I do is hear myself.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Hello? Am I hearing myself? No, I think I still hear myself. I don't know.
But we couldn't hear you. That was really weird. You take off the headphones and we can't hear you anymore.
Oh.
Huh.
Weird.
The world is upside down. I hear myself way, way too much for that to be true. I've got like 7 inner monologues going at once sometimes.
Yeah. The voices in my head keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
What are they saying? No, I don't want to burn that right now. No. Stop.
What's the Pixar movie with the
Which
people in the
one?
brain? People in the brain. Is that Inside Out?
Inside Out.
Yeah.
Michelle
Yeah.
loves that movie.
Well, that's like, what was it? 4 different voices going on at once.
Yeah. Or Herman's
But
head.
read the question again to make sure I understand it.
When you speak, your brain partially suppresses the sound of your own voice in real time.
All right, so we're not necessarily talking about an inner monologue. We're talking about a mute button for the actual audio.
I
I don't know. I'm
think
pretty
it's
damn loud to myself.
yeah. I mean, it might be true for some. It doesn't feel true for me, but I don't know.
It's most certainly true for NPCs,
Yes.
which we are not.
Greetings,
I like false
traveler.
for this one.
I'm gonna say false as well.
All right, we're false.
It's true. So
God, I must be shouting at myself then.
Yeah.
your brain
hell?
has been muting you this entire time. When you talk, your brain already knows what you're about to say. So it dampens the sound of your own voice before
Not
you
my
are
brain.
able to fully process it. And you both will understand this now. That's why your voice sounds normal to you when you're speaking, but weird and unfamiliar when you're listening to yourself on a recording. So the recording isn't wrong. It's just what everybody else hears.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore. I've listened to myself so much now because there's so
Yeah.
much film.
True, but for a while.
Yeah, for a while, but now it's
And
No.
again, there's also the part about how you don't actually think through exactly what you're going to say fully before you actually say it, which is why people blurt out stupid shit all the time.
yeah.
Hey, that's what I do. It's what I'm supposed to. That's why I'm here.
That's our job.
Yeah.
We just spent the last hour doing that.
Yeah.
And now you're criticizing it?
No, I was just making it into a scientific fact.
I don't know. When I hear maybe recordings of me from 25 years ago, when I first started doing my live show, my voice was a little bit higher. And I do sound different, but it's still me, but yeah, it's definitely different. But generally when I hear myself on playback or whatever, I sound normal. I mean, I sound like me. There are some people that'll go, that's not me. I can't believe I sound like that. That's so grating and annoying. I don't have an
Exactly.
accent. Stop it. I don't know. To me, I guess I'm just screaming at myself. I don't know. Weird.
Wahoo says I'm an enigma. How so? Curious what you mean by that.
Well,
You
he
are an
said-
enigma, Dan.
While he types his answer, I was going to throw in there that because you were talking about, Michael, that some of your older videos, you sound slightly different. But if anybody has like home videos or whatnot from when they were younger, when we cleaned out my dad's house, we found tapes. He used to record me in his, like, he had like a sound area, not really a studio, but just where he blasted music. But he would record me, and listening to myself when I was like 4 or 5, that's weird, especially that many years later.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of 4 or 5, some pre-show I should get out my favorite Beth picture.
Oh, the one from Easter where I look super grumpy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
a
I knew
good
that's
It's my favorite.
I was probably what, 3 or 4 in that picture.
I just have to find it. I don't know where I stashed it, but I've got a digital copy too somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, what number are we on? 3?
3?
3?
Yes.
Okay.
Three.
Ready? All right, go.
It is possible for your brain to process visual information slightly after your body has already reacted to it.
Say that again.
It is possible for your brain to process visual information slightly after your body has already reacted to it.
Oh, that makes total sense. Thinking back to when I was young and not as fat and played competitive tennis, things would happen before I even realized that it was happening. That's part of like flow state. Part of getting into the zone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still reacting to things that happened like 2 years ago. So I mean, my mind takes a while to catch up. I don't know. I would say this is true. It sounds very true. Because you're always processing stuff even after you've reacted to it. Your body, your mind keeps processing those things. So it sounds very believable to me.
Yeah. I don't need to debate this one for long.
Yeah.
I'm a solid true on this one. You?
Samesies.
All right.
It's false.
What?
Horse shit.
But listen to the question one more time. It's possible for your brain to process visual information slightly after your body has already reacted to it. So your brain doesn't wait until after your body reacts to process your vision. What it actually does is predict what you're about to see and processes slightly ahead of time to compensate for delays. So instead of reacting before you see, your brain is constantly working to keep everything synchronized. And that's part of tying it back to TCF. That's part of the reason why like eyewitnesses are not as credible as you would think they would be. So no, you're not actually able to outrun your own vision. Your brain is just doing a lot of quiet background work.
Michael disagrees.
I know. I have sources though, so.
I think Daniel disagrees as well.
I might. I'll read your sources in the show notes. Go to itbshow.com and sign up for the notes if you don't already get them, so you too can attempt to debunk what she says. Is it like real sources and not like hindutimes.com or anything like that?
No, it's real sources.
Okay.
Again, because your brain is making assumptions based on what it thinks what it thinks is going to happen. There's actually more likelihood of an illusion than anything else, because again, it's trying to fill in gaps.
Okay. All right, I get what you're saying, I suppose. I don't know if I agree yet. I'll think about it.
Okay.
So just to circle back,
I'll just wait for my brain to catch up.
There you go. So just to circle back, Wahoo said that you can see things in yourself like this that are not necessarily the same things others see in themselves. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. I don't know if that makes me special or insane or what it makes me, but
all of the above.
It makes me me, I suppose. We'll go with that.
It's very nice. It's a very nice thing to say, Wahoo.
Yes, thank you. Number 4?
Yes, 4.
All right, go.
Humans have a natural ability to sense when someone is staring at them, even without seeing or hearing them.
Oh, yeah. No, it's that whole eyes in the back of your head thing. And I can sense when you're staring at me because it creates that fear scent on me that we talked about earlier. And I think you're just trying to, have me excrete that now so that you can bottle it. Sell it. And it's all making sense now.
It'll be a limited run.
You've been making
Sephora.
me afraid for like 20 years now. How limited of a run is this? I mean, seems pretty unlimited to me.
Right now, Freya is staring at me. I got that sense. I look over and she's just there, just looking. See, I don't know. It seems very tangible to me. It just happened. The cat was just staring at me. So I don't know. Seems very real to me.
This feels true to me.
Yes.
I like true for this one. You?
I do too.
True. What do you mean it's false?
It feels like it's extremely real. People think they can sense when they're being watched, but
It just happened.
Controlled studies show they can't reliably do it. What's actually happening is coincidence, pattern recognition, and your brain connecting dots that aren't really there. So you don't have a built-in someone staring at me sensor. It just feels like you do. But yeah, it's been tested over and over in controlled experiments, and it's just a confirmation bias you have with your own self.
I don't like your explanation because it uses that feels word that I'm so pissed off about lately. It feels like this. It seems like that.
Well,
too fuzzy.
It's not fuzzy. Not when there's been experiments done on it.
Yeah.
It cuddled up to me and said,
I don't know.
It's a psychological illusion.
I can feel you staring at me right now.
Well, that you can
I'm telling you, the cat was.
No, I can feel it, like right here.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Heartburn.
Lord.
All right.
Are you ready for the last one?
No.
Okay.
But let's do it.
Just for the sake of tradition.
Exactly.
Under certain conditions, the human brain can create the feeling that another person is nearby, even when no one is there.
That's quantum entanglement.
I would say that's true. Again, because I don't know. That seems very true. Again, I've experienced that.
People who sense that their long lost love is next to them, even though they've been gone for years. It's how I sense that you're staring at me, even though you're not even in the same building as me. Yeah, this feels true on a quantum entanglement sense, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Which means we'll be wrong because she keeps
again,
tripping us up today.
Yeah. Dan nor I are exactly thrilled with some of these answers.
No.
Well, that's what makes it fun for me.
Well, at least you're having fun.
I'm afraid
so happy for you.
The answer.
Yeah, true. You?
Yes, true.
Hold on, I keep hitting the wrong button. All right, say it again.
I said this one is true.
Okay.
In controlled experiments, researchers have shown that if you disrupt the brain's sense of body position and movement, you can make people feel like someone else is standing nearby. Not actually see them, but feel a presence, like someone is behind you or just out of view, and the person knows they're alone, but the feeling is still there. So yes, your brain can create the sense that someone else is in the room, even when there isn't someone else there. It's kind of linked to, if you've ever heard of phantom limb syndrome. It's the same type of neurological process.
Isn't that Andrew Lloyd Webber, Phantom of the Limb?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. That makes sense.
I'm not super versed in my musicals, so.
Neither. Not my thing. Yeah, okay. Well, at least we got it right, but it makes sense. Of anything that you gave us tonight, that one actually made sense.
And it makes sense because we got it right as well. So,
well, that helps. Yeah. I dislike the fact that it took us to question 5 to have you give us something that actually made sense. I think that's kind of rude.
Yeah, I think question 1.
It was different things today. So
it was the good question sandwich. We got question 1 and 5, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
What I was trying to do, I don't know if it came through or not, but because we were doing the whole Star Wars-ish theme, is I was trying to make the lightning questions more psychologically based.
Yeah, that was clear. Yeah.
So we can
Because
use the
I feel like it's
force.
tied in, yeah,
Yeah. No, it worked.
rather than just like 5 questions of Star Wars trivia.
No, and I'm glad you didn't do Star Wars trivia. I'm not happy with these questions. I think your answers are BS for 2, 3, and 4. But but
Fair
know.
enough.
agree to disagree, as we often do.
You don't have to like the questions.
Oh, I don't. So don't worry about that.
You don't even have to like
Covered.
the person who made the questions.
I
That's
don't
fine.
have to like you either. Is that what you
Yeah.
just said? Huh. I never thought of that angle before. Thank you for opening up new possibilities for me.
Just gonna hide over here. Mom and Dad are fighting. I'm just gonna hide under the desk.
I want to point out that Michael's light stayed on the entire show.
It did.
Ooh,
It did. It did. It's on, and it's still on, just as bright as when it started.
The force is with him.
Did you swear at it or something?
Swearing.
I said, you better stay on this whole show. I'll tell you what. I'll give you something to be fearful of.
Good for you. All right.
We
I
did
guess
it.
that's it for tonight. We did it. Another show in the books. with
And again, the
limited
universe
interruptions.
tried to conspire to keep this show off the air, tried to give Beth jury duty. And then whoever took a plea and said, no, I don't want Beth on my jury. She might come up with a question I don't like.
I
don't
am
know.
free and clear for the next
Something
18
happened.
months.
Yeah, nobody wants Beth on their jury.
No.
No, it's bad news.
I'm
She'd
pretty
pick that case apart to death.
I'm pretty sure TCF alone would disqualify me, but
Yeah.
The last time I was on a jury was 22 years ago.
I have been called for jury duty over and over and over again, and I've never actually had to go.
I have never even been called. I'm the last person they want.
I was called about 7 years ago, I think. It was 7 years ago. Was the last time I had a call, but then I'd call up and they'd be like, "No, you don't need to come in." So that was it. But
Excellent.
I actually did serve on a jury like 22 years ago. And then
Well,
people are
I know
they
Beth
let
is
blind people on juries. Yeah, they do. Believe it or not.
They do.
How about that?
I do know that you're upset about possibly missing out on that whopping $20 payment you would have gotten.
Oh
though.
yeah.
So there's that. But
I think it was $12 back then.
At least they didn't gyp you in Ohio. You
yeah.
actually got like minimum wage, like for the number of hours you were there.
Yeah. Nope, not here. We'll pay you $20, but only if you're actually seated on the jury.
Yep.
Otherwise, thanks for playing. Have a nice day.
Mm-hmm. They should give you a horse too.
I sat and waited on another time and never got called. So I've actually gone down there and had to go to the courthouse twice, once serving on a jury. They did pay me for sitting there. I got paid for that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they pay you
That's
for
changed
like,
then.
I think like the transportation or something. They pay you for that. It's like $7 or, I mean, it was, and again, this is 2003, 2004. So, cause I remember it was like end of 2002 and then, or sometime middle 2002 and then 2004 was the 2 times I went down to do jury duty. And ever since I've been called, or I've been had the notice a couple times, but never actually called in. So.
The irony of all of this, by the way, is that I got the jury duty summons, the one that I didn't have to go to today, and that was for Maricopa County. And then I got a federal jury duty notice, and that one is supposed to be in August. But I got both of them when I couldn't move and was laying there for 3 months with a broken leg. I was like, yeah, that figures. So we had to postpone both of them.
Makes sense.
There you go.
Irony can be pretty ironic.
It can. All right, friends, that is it for tonight. We'll be back here Wednesday. We do this show Monday, Wednesday.
Yes.
It's so confusing. 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We'll be back tomorrow on TCF Live at 9 a.m. Eastern. And Michael will have his weather video over at the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion at some point tomorrow. I'm looking forward to seeing if you do it in hieroglyphics because I think that'd be cool. So give that a thought overnight. I think it would be a good angle for you. I'm just saying.
We'll just draw it out.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Huge.
Yeah.
Hey, great show. Great weather. Gonna draw it out. Clones, I'm drawing the weather right now. 1-800-86-8686. Have me take Do Not Sucks.
Yeah. So you got the whole show figured out already.
Right.
Go to itbshow.com. Sign up for the newsletter if you don't already have yourself signed up for it so you can get both show notes. Feel free to pick up your official Joe's House of Meth shirt while you're there. I really need to make us some more merch, but get that one because it's cool.
Yeah.
It is.
And we're doing daily trivia.
Yes. And we also take donations over there too. So if you want to help us out, do that. All right, that's it. See you next time, friends. Bye.
Bye.